Please give me a update of whether we are able to hear now. We will be able to hear the content in some time. We have gone live right now. I hope you are able to hear now. Are we good now, guys? Alright. Coming back, Pakistan is the riskiest place to be born according to UNICEF report. Right? So now India's rank is 12 among the 52 lower middle income countries. Right? India's neonatal mortality rate is 25.4. Is ranked at 12. Rank 12 is which one? The infant mortality, neonatal mortality rate. Neonatal means newborn baby. And having said that, the safest nation for birth on the list is Japan and the riskiest place is Pakistan in terms of the health indices like maternal mortality rate, infant mortality rate and neonatal mortality rate. Infant mortality rate is after the child has crossed a particular amount of days, right, 3 to 6 months, and otherwise when it happens. Having said this, guys, please remember that the neonatal mortality rate is for newborn babies. Also remember we had discussed the stillbirth. Stillbirth is when the baby is born dead in the mother's womb. No, Japan, Arundhati, is not in the lower income. As a total part of the list, it is the safest place for a child to be born. Please remember this. Swati, yes, mostly the conferences which are held in India will be done in Delhi unless the state governments like Hyderabad or Mumbai wants to bring it up. So please remember. Yesterday also, guys, let's quickly go back and see where is the first artificial intelligence center being made in India. Artificial intelligence center, please give me the answer quickly. And also tell me where the global economic conference is happening. Also give me the global economic conference, guys. Global economic conference. So global economic conference is happening in Canada, and the our first artificial intelligence place is in Mumbai in Maharashtra. Right, guys, having said that, let's move to the next slide quickly. Alright, the next slide that we're looking at is first all-women railway station. First all-women railway station is Jaipur's Gandhinagar railway station. Right, first all-women railway station. It is the first non-suburban station, guys. Suburban station is not your regular station. So no, suburban station means those ones which are local trains. This is the first non-suburban station in the country to be operated completely by women. Niti Forum in the Northeast. Niti Forum in the Northeast. Please remember that this forum is created for the benefit of the Northeastern women. Right. Having said this, guys, this is done with the help of the Ministry of Northeast Region, right? The Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region, and also the Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog. Who is the Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog, guys? The Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog. Quickly give me the answer. Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog is Rajiv Kumar. Please remember, guys, Vice Chairman is Rajiv Kumar. The earlier one was Arvind Subramaniam. Oh, sorry, Arvind Panagria. Alright guys, moving on. The next one, so this is Niti Forum for Northeast. This is forum co-chaired by the Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog and the Minister of State for Development of the Northeastern Region. Minister of State means, please remember guys, these are not the cabinet ministers. The cabinet ministers are called minister, whereas the other ministers are called Ministry of State. Independent, IC is independent charge. Please remember, IC means independent charge. Alright, having said that, we'll move on to the next one. The first ever TB India Summit. First ever TB, that is Tuberculosis India Summit, was held in New Delhi. Right, and the most important thing to remember is the global TB elimination target of 2030. And the target of this particular summit was to free India of tuberculosis by 2025. The Planning Commission has been replaced by Niti Aayog. It is an executive body started by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi after he wanted to get rid of the Planning Commission, which was started in 1951 by Jawaharlal Nehru. So coming back guys, the first India TB Summit in New Delhi. Please remember, the dates are not important, but only thing is a TB free India vision by 2025 and a global TB elimination target of 2030. Please remember, tuberculosis is not caused by a virus, it is caused by a bacterium. Mycobacterium tuberculosis, MTB. Have you all checked out the slides guys? We are going to move on to the next one. So coming back guys, who was the first woman to fly IIF flight MiG-29? Can we quickly get the name? She did it in Jamnagar, the IIF base. That's it guys. Let's go back and come again to the next session. The next one is the International Conference on Sustainable Biofuels. International Conference on Sustainable Biofuels. This has been organized by the Department of Biotechnology, right? Where it is being held is not important, but the sustainable biofuel is one of the 7 mission innovation challenges, and India co-leads this along with other countries like Brazil, Canada and China. This is the most important thing. Sustainable biofuel is the 7 mission innovation challenges, right? And who is involved? India, Brazil, Canada and China. And having said that, the next slide that we go to is Rashtriya Sanskriti Mahotsav. Rashtriya Sanskriti is to do with your culture and your traditions, right? The Sanskriti Parampara, we have heard this very much often in Hindi movies. Sanskriti talks about culture. Rashtriya Sanskriti Mahotsav is under the Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat matrix at the Man Mandir Fort in Gwalior in Madhya Pradesh. In Gwalior in Madhya Pradesh, we are having the Rashtriya Sanskriti Mahotsav. Right, the states paired to each other is Madhya Pradesh along with Nagaland and Manipur. This is basically to improve cooperative federalism, meaning so the states cooperate with each other and they are able to generate more development in terms of social and economic. Yeah, here we'll quickly go to the previous slide. Again, the International Conference on Sustainable Biofuels at New Delhi. India co-leads this challenge, mission innovation challenge with countries like Brazil, Canada, China. Coming back guys, the next thing is the carbon tax. Please understand, firms that produce 25,000 or more greenhouse gases per year, so 25,000 or more tons of greenhouse gases per year will have to pay carbon tax in Singapore. So this is in Singapore. right? Singapore government has started this off, and from 2019 they will have to pay this, and the carbon tax will be $5 per ton of greenhouse gas emissions. Guys, please understand, 25,000 or more tons. We have missed out that 25,000 or more tons of greenhouse gases. Please remember this. Having said that, guys, the next important thing is, yes, Pakistan is actually going and holding the feet of China by declaring Mandarin as one of their official languages, right? And Mandarin is a standard language which is the sole official language of both China and Taiwan, and also one of the 4 official languages of Singapore. So like I told you guys, China always connects to countries or tries to invade or influence countries in terms of their language and culture, and now they have reached their footprints till Pakistan. Akshay, Chinese is actually not a language. Chinese is divided into Cantonese and Mandarin. That is the 2 types of languages that are there. Mandarin is a more standard language. Cantonese is most similar to it's a variety that is used in different parts of please remember, guys, so Mandarin has become one of the languages declared as official in Pakistan. Having said that, guys, Cobra Gold 2018, again next military exercise, Cobra Gold 2018. We have the largest military exercise in Southeast Asia concluded in Thailand. One we had done before was Indonesia. Can you quickly give me the name of the exercise conducted in Indonesia? I'm waiting for the exercise that was mentioned in the earlier slides which talked about India with Indonesia. Cobra Gold 2018 is in Thailand. Indonesia and India had an exercise. What is it called? Garuda Shakti. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Aditi, Melita, Akshay. Great job, guys. So remembering this, guys, the United States was the biggest participant in this particular exercise. So this is happening in the Southeast Asia, and soldiers from 29 countries have participated in this. Please remember, 29 countries. Having moved on from there, guys, Lametier is the next military exercises. It's a joint military exercise between the Indian Army and the Seychelles People Defense. So Seychelles is an island that is there on the eastern coast, down even more south of India or Southeast Asian countries. Right? This is at the Mahi Island of Seychelles. And Lametier is an exercise which has been named so, which means friendship. So this is to improve the friendship and the part of the bilateral relations, so called Lametier again, which means friendship, and in the local dialect Creole, the language in Seychelles, it means friendship. Lametier, please remember, India and Seychelles. Okay, so Cobra Gold is 29 countries. US was the highest participant with over 6,000 soldiers. It was happening in Thailand. It got concluded. And next is Lametier. Lametier is Seychelles and Indian Army once again as the Mahi Islands of Seychelles. The exercise is named as Lametier, meaning friendship in their local dialect. Moving on, guys, the Globalization Index. The Globalization Index, India dropped 16 spots to 78. It dropped down 16 spots from 62 to 78 among 140 countries, right? So what does the Globalization Index happen? It is brought out by the international logistics company called as DHL. All of us have heard the DHL, which is the courier company. So they bring in this particular index called as the DHL. It is called the Globalization Index, and India has dropped from 62 to 78 among 140 countries. and it is measured how? By international flow of trade, capital, information and people. Yes guys, have you got this? Alright, so having said this, let's move on guys. The question is, was India a part of Cobra Gold? Yes, it is generally taken part in Cobra Gold guys. So every year that is there, these countries involve as to whether India has joined this particular year. We will have to go back and check. I have to just check that guys. The main important thing was to understand is that Cobra Gold was conducted in Thailand and the military exercise involves USA, which is the highest participant. And has India ever participated? Yes, India has participated in Cobra Gold military exercise. Right, having said that, we move on to the next slide. Full feature interbank money transfer service. So please understand guys, WhatsApp has launched a payment gateway. WhatsApp has launched a payment gateway. Please remember this, right? Please remember that NPCI is the body set up by the central bank and lenders to oversee the payment service, right? So please understand, just like how you have RBI, the payment service and the payment gateways are monitored by NPCI. Right, having said that, the next one, okay, also guys, NPCI is, if you guys are wondering, it is the National Payments Corporation of India. National Payments Corporation of India. Have you all taken it down guys? I hope you have all taken it down. Okay, having said this guys, WhatsApp, have you checked your WhatsApp? If you check your WhatsApp, there's an option called as payment. It was released in February, and right in between February is when they introduced this. Also another thing that WhatsApp had introduced was WhatsApp Business. There's a different type of WhatsApp which will be now used by companies to reach out to their customers. The beta version was introduced for certain companies like Go, Ibibo and Make My Trip. So please remember guys, once again, having said that, WhatsApp has introduced a payment gateway system where people can now make payments, right? Moving on guys. Next thing is, Saudi women can now open business. Like I told you guys, in light of the fact that these countries like Saudi Arabia was not able to capitalize on any of their oil as of now, these people have opened out their economy and shown that they are able to generate a lot of income if they develop their social well-being. So that's why they have opened out freedom for women. They have opened out movie theaters, right? And they have made sure that people, a lot of such women have now got their freedom. Having said that, the economy in Saudi Arabia and the other Gulf countries are looking to widen their perspective, widen their freedom for people so that they are able to. Yes, Stella, WhatsApp for Business is another app. Coming back, Saudi country was known as the most conservative Gulf country in terms of the faith. But now they have also slightly opened it up because they have realized that such kind of development is required for the economic growth of the country. Alright, so the next question that we have guys, and having said that, Radio Jockey and Stella, please understand WhatsApp for Business is a separate app. You can have two WhatsApps on your phone. You can register the two different phone numbers. Coming back, first ever Hyperloop route, right, is in called as the Virgin Hyperloop 1. The state government of Maharashtra has flagged off an ambitious project where between Mumbai and Pune, and Hyperloop is the proposal done by Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX and Tesla. So now you can associate Elon Musk with four things. One is your PayPal, which is one of the earliest payment gateways and mobile wallet. The other one is SpaceX. The next thing is Tesla, and the other thing that you know is Hyperloop, which is basically a type of train, a very high speed train. Please remember, also please tell me guys, we had discussed earlier what is the spacecraft for commercial travel by the SpaceX called as. SpaceX had done a commercial travel spacecraft. What is it called, guys? It's called Falcon Heavy, guys. Falcon Heavy. Falcon Heavy. Falcon Heavy. Right? Having said this, the next important thing also to remember, let's go back and also understand SpaceX had done this very classified mission for the US government. Nobody knows the reason why it was done, but a space mission was done called as Zuma mission. So please remember Zuma mission. Having said this, guys, let's move on to the next one, future skills. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the NASSCOM's platform. It is called as Future Skills. Why is it? It is for development of various technologies, and this is done during the inaugural session of the World Congress on Information Technology. If you remember, it's the first time that World Congress on Information Technology was held. It was done in Hyderabad, as we discussed yesterday, and in the same project, Future Skills for skill development, it was a NASSCOM's platform, an online platform that is there, and Narendra Modi had inaugurated it. F-16 jet is not built in India, guys. F-16 jets are generally made in the US. Moving on, we will discuss any unrelated questions a little later. Global Investor Summit. Global Investor Summit is happening in Maharashtra, in Mumbai. Right, so please remember, Global Investors Summit is happening in Mumbai metropolitan region. Right, so please remember, it is just happening in Mumbai, in Maharashtra. Next one, Venezuela's digital coin makes debut. Please remember, Venezuela has introduced its own version of Bitcoin. A move with hopes will provide too much of boost to its credit-stricken economy, and it is called as Petro because it is backed by Venezuela's crude oil reserve, the largest in the world. Please remember, 4 news you have important here. It's the first country to start its own version of a Bitcoin called as Petro. Now, Petro is backed by just crude oil. Right, it is one of those countries in the South America who's got crude oil. That is exactly why the US has got a lot of issues with Venezuela and does not let it develop and maintain its own government. Now also remember, the largest crude oil reserves in the world is Venezuela. So we have discussed Venezuela's digital coin system, and Petro is an important word to be remembered. It's backed by Venezuela's crude oil reserves, and that's why it's called Petro. Right? Having said this, we have already seen the SWIFT system. In case of the LOU and SWIFT system, where did we hear this? We heard it in the PNB fraud. Right? For us to understand what is SWIFT system, SWIFT is a society for worldwide interbank financial telecommunication. This helps different banks communicate with each other in a very safe and secured way. Right? Having said this, is the most safest, and till date no SWIFT transaction has been hacked. So the only reason why the PNB fraud happened is because somebody in the bank willfully passed SWIFT messages to the Allahabad bank branch in Singapore saying that Nirav Modi and associates can be given huge amounts in loan. Beautiful music hola. Yes, we discussed this in the budget session. And having said this, guys, the let's just go back a little quickly, guys. First Artificial Intelligence Research Institute. First Artificial Intelligence Research Institute, right? Because the first Artificial Intelligence Center was started in Mumbai. Varghese Artificial Intelligence is the first India's research institute dedicated to developing artificial solutions, right? So please remember this, guys, two names. One is the country's first Artificial Intelligence Center, and the second thing is the research institute that has been started both in Mumbai. The next thing is electoral bonds. Now, the Ministry of Finance says that SBI has been authorized to issue and encash first electoral bonds. So, what will it help, guys? It is very simple. If the political parties want to get money, right, and if they want to borrow any money, they can issue electoral bonds, and then what happens is that the government or the banks will give them money, and this will be as a loan, right? Just like how companies issue bonds which can capitalize their debts, the same way the political parties can also do it. So this is a new way in which the banks can ensure, or the government can ensure, that the money which is coming into the political parties has some sort of tracking and some sort of record. Moving on, guys, moving on. Please remember, the first Indian state to clear projects digitally. So Uttar Pradesh has become the first state in the country where projects can now be cleared digitally without any human interface. Right? The digital platform is called as Nivesh Mitra. Nivesh Mitra, please remember the name. The Nivesh Mitra is the particular platform which is used for clearing any projects, the government projects that are there. All the sanctions happen online without any human intervention, and this is done by Uttar Pradesh as being the first state. Having said that, guys, let's move on to the next slide. Right, the next slide is the Corruption Perception Index. So this is done by Transparency International. Please remember, Transparency International is an organization which checks each country for the amount of corruption that is there. The Corruption Perception Index, India has been ranked 81 out of 180. So India is at 81st position, and it is also named the country among the worst offenders in terms of graft and press freedom in the Asia Pacific region. So grafting, like I told you yesterday, we had discussed graft. Graft was the using of your powers or using of your position for getting personal gains or helping your family. We'll quickly go back to the slides, guys. Once again, the first Artificial Intelligence Research Institute, Varghese AI, is in Mumbai, and this has been done in coordination with the fact that the first Artificial Intelligence Center in India is also in Mumbai. Having said that, the electoral bonds, guys, electoral bonds, SBI has been permitted to issue such kind of electoral bonds and encash it, basically. Issue and encash the first electoral bonds. It's a way for political parties to make money. Right, the next thing is Uttar Pradesh is the first state in the country where projects can now be cleared digitally. Please remember, it is called as Nivesh Mitra. Right, Nivesh Mitra, it is a platform. The first Indian state to use such platform to clear the projects is Uttar Pradesh. Right. Also remember, guys, according to the Global Corruption Perception Index, India is at 81 out of 180 among the worst offenders in terms of graft and press freedom, and this particular index is released by Transparency International. The next one is India's first 5G trial. India's first 5G trial is between Bharti Airtel and Chinese telecom gear. Right. So what is happening is the 5G trial. Don't take it as the law trial. This trial is to introduce 5G into the Indian country, right? A network trial will happening between the Chinese telecom company called as Huawei and Bharti Airtel, and this test setup will happen in Manesar and Gurgaon. Moving on, guys, the Ombudsman Scheme. The Ombudsman Scheme. The RBI has launched the Ombudsman Scheme for non-banking financial companies. Guys, please understand, non-banking financial companies are which companies? Such kind of chitty companies or chit fund companies, those those lenders, those money lenders that are there, Muthoot Finance, Cholamandalam Finance, right? These kind of people do not fall under the ambit of banks because they don't have a deposit and savings account and fixed deposit and all these kinds of things. They only have investment models, right? So please remember, the RBI is still the regulator of these institutions, but they have kept an ombudsman. Why? So that these can be investigated for complaints of corruption or any sort of embezzlement that happens against them. And the offices of NBFC is functioning at 4 metro centers: Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai and New Delhi. Chennai, Kolkata, right? So please remember 4 places where the Ombudsman Scheme of the RBI will be launched, right? Or is launched. There are 4 metro centers that are there which will make sure that any sort of complaints against corruption or any sort of misappropriation in terms of these NBFCs are there, it will be checked so that no black money comes into the system through any of these schemes. Sahas Gowda, let us go back again. We will see India's first 5G trial. It will happen where? In Manesar and Gurgaon. The 2 companies involved is the Indian company called Bharti Airtel and the Chinese telecom maker called as Huawei. Now they have successfully conducted the first radio jockey. Let's not give out any sort of ultimatums to people. If people have to watch it or if they have an issue, I will be the one who's discussing it. Please don't create any sort of an unhealthy atmosphere. Thank you so much. Moving on, guys, India's second space observatory. India's second space observatory. Right, ISRO has launched India's second space observatory called as AstroSat 2. AstroSat 2. Now what happened is in 2015, India had joined United States, Japan, Russia and Europe by having its own space observatory satellite called as the AstroSat. Now this is India's version of the Hubble telescope. But when had NASA put it? NASA had put this in space in 1990. But we reached that league of things 2015, India had joined the league of countries like United States, Japan, Russia and Europe. Karthik, any sort of unwanted talk that is happening, I will throw you out of the session. So let's not have any sort of discussion that is happening. Please ask questions only in this chat with respect to the classes that you are taking. Moving on, guys, Sara's aircraft. India's indigenous light transport aircraft Saras has been successfully test flown for the second time. So India's indigenous light transport aircraft. This is the first multi-purpose civilian aircraft that was made solely in India, and this has been developed again by the CSIR, National Aerospace Laboratories. Bijoy, let's go back quickly to the AstroSat 2 linked countries. The other countries were US, Japan, Russia and Europe. The next important thing is Dhanush. We had studied 2 missiles yesterday. We will have added one more ballistic missile called Dhanush. India successful test fired its nuclear capable Dhanush. Again, guys, where do they test on it from? Odisha coast. What is there on Odisha coast? The Abdul Kalam Island. What is it generally used for? For firing and test firing missiles. Right? Please understand the strike range is 350 kilometers and the payload is 500 kgs and it is capable of hitting both land and sea-based targets. Yes, Jubal, yes, Anna, we will quickly go back again. Sahas, we will just go back to the previous slide if you have to. Right, moving on, guys, we'll come back to the slide. Before that, Dhanush is a ballistic missile. You know what Dhanush is, or a ballistic missile is. 350 kilometers is the strike range, 500 kgs is the payload. Before that, Saras aircraft. Please look at it, guys. Saras is India's first indigenous light transport aircraft, which is civilian aircraft developed by the CSIR. Please take down the name, the organization which made it, and what is it. It's a multi-purpose civilian aircraft. Please remember, it's a multi-purpose civilian aircraft. Right, having said that, guys, please remember India's first World Cup medal. India's first World Cup medal. Quickly give me the names of the other missiles that are there, guys, before we go to Aruna Ray's medal. Please give me the name of the, yesterday we had discussed two missiles. What was there? Rajeshwaran, Dhanush is not just air to land, surface to air, surface to surface, and also like as it is discussed in the slide. Please understand, going back, please understand it is fired from a naval ship, right? So surface to surface is what they have tested. In the land and sea based targets is what we are looking at. Please remember, land and sea based targets. Right, coming back again, guys, now we will go back again to India's first World Cup medal. Aruna Reddy made history when she became the first World Cup medal winner with a bronze. Now what event did she get this through? We have not mentioned it here. Please take it down. She got it in gymnastics. Right, guys, having said that, let's go back again. The three missiles that we have discussed is Prithvi 2, Agni 5, and we have discussed also Dhanush, right, in which Prithvi is a cruise missile, whereas Agni and Dhanush is ballistic missile. The next important thing is, guys, something called as Train the Trainers program. Please take down Train the Trainers program. Please write it down, guys. What has happened is a form here. The badminton coach of Sindhu, PV Sindhu, who is the Olympic silver medal winner for badminton. Right, the badminton coach Pulela Gopichand, P. Gopichand, has initiated the country's largest Train the Trainers program, in which 1,500 physical education teachers from across Gujarat has been taken for advanced training. So these people can help students train more in physical activities and get us more people who will represent India in Olympics. Having said that, guys, moving on. Asmita Yojana. The Maharashtrian government is set to roll out Asmita Yojana on the International Women's Day. So please remember, this is not a central government thing. It is the state government, Maharashtra government, which is running this Yojana specifically on the International Women's Day. So what is the International Women's Day, guys? Quickly, please check. Any guess as to what is Asmita Yojana, guys? Because it is Women's Day, I'm sure you would have known, because a lot of the governments, including state governments, have actually started off this project in a lot of places. So please, can you guess what is Asmita Yojana? No, guys, this is basically a particular scheme where sanitary napkins are provided to the women. Sanitary napkins are provided free of cost to the women. Vending machines will be provided in a lot of places. A lot of metro stations have sanitary napkin vending machines. So please remember, guys, Maharashtra government Asmita Yojana on Women's Day, it will be inaugurated, and also remember Asmita Yojana is for sanitary napkin. Having said that, can you quickly go back and tell me who is the first woman Air Force officer who flew the MiG-29 flight in Jamnagar? Beautiful that we have this answer. Also, please tell me, yesterday's people who ended the session, Taj Mahotsav, what is the significance of Taj Mahotsav this year? What is the theme of Taj Mahotsav this year? Normally, what is celebrated and what is it this year? Beautifully answered, guys. Lord Ram. Normally, it's a Mughal culture that is there. Thank you so much for the answers. Let's go back, guys, quickly. Let's go back quickly. Right, the next slides that we will look at is Adi Mahotsava. Adi Mahotsava. Assam has organized a tribal festival called as the Adi Mahotsava at the Gandhi Mandir in New Delhi. In the Gandhi Mandir Stadium in New Delhi. Please remember, the 10-day festival is used for promoting tribal cooperative marketing. Guys, just remember this, it is only to promote the tribes, the scheduled tribes in the particular state, because a lot of these tribes want to be uplifted and they don't want to be a part of India generally, because they see us as people who want to take off their resources. So to promote this particular tribal state, and also to make sure these people have an opportunity to present their promote a lot of their please make sure that you understand all of these tribal states generally will have a lot of these events happening in Delhi, because they want a lot of funds to come to these states. These states generally do not have any sort of revenue that happens except through the forest produce, and they want a lot of development to come in. So the leadership of these states make sure that these states have their exhibitions and their hearts. Yesterday we had also discussed about something called as Hunar Haat. Hunar Haat, which happened in Delhi. This was for promoting the minority people's traditions and their exhibitions of their handicrafts. Again, guys, Anna, we will quickly discuss this, that Adi Mahotsava, right? These kind of festivals and exhibitions are held in New Delhi, right? A lot of these institutions are being conducted in New Delhi because they want the different important leadership people in the central government to actually bring about some sort of development and include states like Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, and all those tribal and forest areas under the ambit of the Indian Union. Right? While they politically, they are socially and economically, they are still living backward. So, Assam Adi Mahotsava in New Delhi, tribal cooperative marketing development. Please remember this quickly. Right, having said that, guys, the first woman to head NASSCOM, first woman to head NASSCOM is the Intel Corp veteran Devjani Ghosh. She will take over as the president of the National Association of Software and Services Companies. Please understand, all your IT companies in India come under the ambit of NASSCOM. So NASSCOM is like the RBI of the IT companies. And Devjani Ghosh will be the first woman to head a tech body in 30 years. The next thing is the International Mother Language Day. International Mother Language Day. It is not a National Mother Language Day. Please remember, it is going to be held on 21st of February to promote the awareness of linguistic and cultural diversity, and it is announced first by UNESCO. Please remember, 21st February, International Mother Language Day, and first announced by UNESCO. Arundhati, the full form of NASSCOM is National Association for Software and Service Companies. National Association for Software and Service Companies, and Intel Corp veteran Debjani Ghosh. Please take down the note as a mind map, guys, and be a little quick because we are running a little short of time. Right? As such, the theme is not being mentioned, guys. There's nothing as the theme. So, please remember, International Mother Language Day, a worldwide annual observance. It is for the linguistic and cultural diversity, promoting multilingualism. That is for being held by UNESCO 21st of February. I'm not aware what is the relation of this particular day with Bangladesh. We can discuss this after the session is done. Please take down the notes, guys. International Mother Language Day, February 21st, announced by UNESCO. It is to promote the awareness of linguistic and cultural diversity, and also to promote different languages. Guys, please remember Bandicoot Robots. Bandicoot Robots is started off after testing in Thiruvananthapuram. Now please understand, they have been developed by a young set of engineers. So just the name is important. Bandicoot is a bunch of robots. Nothing else is very, very important. Right? It is done by this particular company or startup called as Jet Robotics, and will be deployed across the state. So please remember Bandicoot and the fact that it is put up in Thiruvananthapuram. That's all I will remember. Guys, International Mother Day is not what they say. Mother Language Day is not International Mother's Day. Rajeshwaran, please note. Anna, please note. And there is no specific theme that has been mentioned. It's like how you have International Women's Day. Not every particular Women's Day you don't have a theme as such. First carbon neutral panchayat. So please understand, first carbon neutral panchayat is the Meenangadi village in the Western Ghats of Kerala. Right, there is a state of zero carbon footprint achieved, where carbon emissions in the atmosphere are cancelled by an equal amount of sequestration. Please remember, guys. Now the next important thing is, guys, sequestration is not important for you guys. All you have to remember is it is chemically how they remove. They remove the amount of carbon by making it react with other elements, either through natural process or by artificial elements. So please remember the Meenangadi village in Kerala, first carbon neutral panchayat. The first carbon neutral panchayat. Please remember, guys. Also, what is important to remember is the first carbon neutral airport. The first carbon neutral airport, as was discussed in the Asia Pacific region. Airport. This is the particular first carbon neutral panchayat that is there. Carbon neutral airport, the first one in the Asia Pacific region was the Indira Gandhi International Airport. Right, having said that, the next important thing to know is that the second in such airport was the Rajiv Gandhi International Airport. Alright guys, coming back again. Quad. Quad is the first country's defense industrial corridor linking Chennai to 4 other cities of Tamil Nadu to promote the industries manufacturing weapons and military equipment. Okay, Quad is a short form of quadrilateral corridor. It will connect Chennai, Hosur, Coimbatore, Salem and Tiruchirappalli, and the ministry is finalizing the broad contours of the project. Important to understand guys, Chennai is a place where a lot of arms and ammunitions are made. I am sure a lot of people have heard of this particular place called as Avadi. I have talked and told my LSC students about this. Right, Avadi is not a Tamil place or a Tamil name. Avadi is the expansion got as armed vehicles and ammunition depot of India. The Defense Expo 2018, which happened last month or this month for that matter on the 12th of April, it's a different thing guys. But having said that, the Defense Industrial Corridor was brought in to promote such kind of a Defense Expo and make sure that more and more weapons and more defense equipments are made in India indigenously rather than buying or importing them from other countries like France, Russia or US. Avadi full form is Armed Vehicles and Ammunition Depot of India. Right? Having said that guys, the next one is the Shaktisana. Shaktisana is the world's largest solar park and this has been put up at the Pavagada, a place in Karnataka's Tumkuru district. Right? Karnataka's Tumkuru district has the world's largest solar park and it is called as Shaktisana. Right? This is a part of the Karnataka Solar Policy 2014 to 21. All these details is important only for the civil service exam guys. For the CLAT students, the important part to remember is world's largest solar park is Shaktisana in the Tumkuru district of Karnataka in a place called Pavagada. Now what was it supposed to do? It is supposed to decrease the dependence on traditional power sources like water and thermal power and move to environment friendly ones. Right? Having said this guys, let's move on to the next slide. Vidya, please refresh your slides. You will be able to see it again. Please make sure you refresh your slides. The first 3D planetarium, right, in India has been called as the Swami Vivekananda Planetarium. Swami Vivekananda Planetarium, and it is now in Mangaluru in Karnataka. Right, so Minister of Science and Technology, not important who inaugurated it, but please remember it's called as the Swami Vivekananda 3D Planetarium and it is in Mangaluru in Karnataka. Having said that guys, we move on to the next slide which is called as Namaste Shalom. Namaste Shalom, right? It's a magazine devoted to India-Israel relations. Please remember we had discussed yesterday about India-Palestine relations and now Namaste Shalom. Shalom is a very Hebrew word, very synonymous with the TV channel called Shalom TV for Christians generally. It's a Hebrew word, not very sure what the meaning of the word is. But having said it's a magazine used to devoted to the India-Israel bilateral relations development and it was inaugurated in New Delhi. Right, so the next one is guys, the Odisha government has started something called as Ama Gaon, Ama Vikas, basically our village, our development. Vikas means development, Gaon means village, Ama in this case I'm thinking is ours. So this is to reach out to the people of rural areas and involve themselves in the developmental activities. Sandesh, thank you. I think Shalom means peace. Yes, or it is a form of greeting just like how you say Salaam Alaikum or if you say hello or goodbye. So having said that guys, Ama Gaon and Ama Vikas is Odisha government's project. Right, our village, our development. This is to reach out to the people in the rural areas and involve themselves in the developmental activities. Please take it down quickly. Anna, can you quickly refresh the slide so you're able to see it more clearly? Akash, can you do the same as well? Have you all taken on the news, guys? Namaste Shalom, first 3D planetarium, right? The first largest solar park, Amagaon, Amavikas. Have you taken on all of this, guys? Are we able to see, guys? Are we able to see the particular slide? I think there's a slight video setting problem that is there. Give me 2 minutes, guys. We will be back in 2 minutes. We will be back in 2 minutes. I think there's some sort of a tech glitch. Sorry for the trouble. Please listen to the session very, very clearly to pick up the words. We don't want to lose out on time, guys. Please tell me if you're able to see it now, guys. Are we okay now? Vidya, can you please check now? And Melita, please do check now. Akash, please do check now. Alright, let's move on, guys. Let's quickly move on. Moving on to the next slide. Very, very important topics that we're going to discuss. The next one, the Financial Action Task Force, FATF. Financial Action Task Force has placed Pakistan under monitoring in the International Cooperation Review Group. What is the reason? Because they want to see how much of compliance is there for anti-money laundering and combating of finance terrorism. Please understand, guys. Anti-money laundering basically means transferring money from one place to another, like I told you earlier in the budget session. There's something called as hawala, right? How you transfer money from one account to the other, or you transfer it through other unscrupulous methods to get the money, and then it is used for various things like buying and selling of drugs, weapons, trafficking of people, and also terrorism, right? The Financial Action Task Force is an intergovernmental body, different countries together, intergovernmental body. So this has started in 1989 by the ministers of its member jurisdictions, and please remember FATF is not of a particular country but of different countries put together. It is not by the UN or anybody, but this is specifically to make sure that financial crimes and any sort of financial transactions which are illegal can be prevented. No, military is not a part of the UN. It is an intergovernmental body that has been formed independently, just like how you have your BRICS or any other international organization. Akshay, the full form is Financial Action Task Force. Please look at the slide clearly. Quickly moving on to the next one, guys. Milan 2018. Milan 2018 is the biennial, right? Biennial series of exercises commenced with 4 nations in 95, right? The theme for Milan is friendship across seas. So you obviously know this is a Navy exercise. So please remember, guys, this is very important for you to understand, right? Please remember. And having said this, guys, now the most important thing we have missed out in this particular place is which are the countries which are there in the Milan naval exercise. It was started off by 4 countries, right? This is countries actually in the Southeast Asian areas, but eventually India also joined in, right? And Australia has joined in. So it started off by Indonesia, Singapore, Sri Lanka and Thailand. No, Milan does not have a particular expansion. It is just a name that has been put up. Okay, it is mostly these 4 countries that was there: Indonesia, Singapore, Sri Lanka and Thailand. And having said that, guys, it has got more and more countries as on date. No, there is no full form for Milan, Shreya. There is no full form, Jubal. Right? Sorry for that, it's in capital letter, don't worry about it. But just remember that the theme is friendship across seas. Right? Friendship across seas is the theme of this particular military exercise that was there. The next one is Samina Beg. Renowned mountaineer Samina Beg is now the National Goodwill Ambassador for Pakistan in the United Nations Development Program. Because please understand, Pakistan is a country which is low on a lot of human development indices. So they want to get the famous celebrities in that country who have been a part of the goodwill or done great work. And because of this, Samina Beg, a renowned mountaineer, will be the first, also the first Pakistani woman to have climbed the Mount Everest. Please remember, she is the first Pakistani woman to have climbed the Mount Everest. Have excuse me, guys. Having said that, the particular Milan was held this year. The Milan was held in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Andaman and Nicobar Islands in Port Blair. And the four countries which started off, Adrit Krishna, is Indonesia, Singapore, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. Mudutrati, the Milan was held this year in Port Blair. That is in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Alright, no, the dates are not important for such kinds of things, guys. The dates are only important if it's an international day or a national day which is being remembered. Please don't remember the dates where a particular event happened or a particular something was inaugurated or a particular exercise was held. It's not very important for us to remember all these things. Having said that, guys, grey list of the FATF we just discussed now in Pakistan confirmed that it will be on the grey list in June, but now it is being disputing the claims of being put on a blacklist. Now, how does the grey list and the other list work? Blacklist is your least of the list which puts you on a pedestal because you have been known to use the money in terms of money laundering, promoting terrorism and other sorts of crimes. Right, to move on from the blacklist to the grey list is what Pakistan has tried, and it says it will be on the grey list in June, but as of now it's on the blacklist. Grey list is just a level above the blacklist, guys. The blacklist is when you've been blacklisted. I'm sure in your schools also they say that the student has been blacklisted. That's because when the student is considered as the worst performer or the worst in the school, same way. Rupur atomic plant. Please remember the next slide is the Rupur atomic plant. Moving on to the Rupur atomic plant. The Rupur project is the first initiative under the Indo-Russian deal to undertake atomic projects. Right? This will also be the first time when Indian companies will able to participate in a nuclear project abroad. So please, what's happened is that earlier Russia has helped India develop projects inside the country, but it's the first time Russia and India will team up to make projects or develop projects. And we are back, guys. Please make sure you're able to hear. We are back. The streaming has been resumed. I hope you guys are able to hear it now. We are back now. Akash, please understand, between Russia and India, the Kodam project is developed inside India. In this case of Rupur atomic plant, this will be developed outside the country. Rupur project is the initiative under the Indo-Russian deal to take up projects outside these two countries. Yes, you are absolutely correct, Arundhati. The Rupur project will be done in Bangladesh. Rupur project will be done in Bangladesh. But having said that, this is the project which will be taken care of India and Russia, but not inside either of these countries, but in a third country. Having said that, have you taken down these notes, guys? Rupur atomic plant, Indo-Russia project for a project in the third country being Bangladesh, because Rupur is in Bangladesh. Are we able to hear, guys? Can we go to the next slide? Have you taken down the notes? And please remember, before, as I said, someone had asked me a particular question before we went offline, right? Anna Elizabeth, a country cannot move from a grey list to a black list. It generally moves from black to grey. But Pakistan, because of this extraordinary performance in supplying money to terrorism and other illegal activities, has gone to the black list. Have you taken down the notes, guys? Let's move to the next slide. Let's move to the next slide, guys. Saudi Arabian oil fields are the greenest in the world. Please understand, Saudi Arabian oil fields are the greenest in the world, meaning they are the lowest carbon emitters. They are the lowest carbon emitters in the planet, according to a particular newspaper, right? So China has been also known as the world's largest growth market for energy. But having said this, guys, please remember, Saudi Arabia has been told as the place where the least amount of carbon is being generated. That is because the amount of rich oil that they have, they do not have to burn a lot of fuel to dig this oil, so the amount of pollution is very, very less. So when you have very less amount of pure oil, when you have to mix ingredients or mix impurities in it, and therefore the carbon emissions become very high. Please remember, guys, Saudi Arabian oil fields are the greenest in the world, according to the Houston Chronicle. Have you all taken this down, guys? Please tell me that we have all taken this down. Please remember the name of the country, right? Having said that, we will move on to the next slide. It is called as the Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill. Fugitive Economic Offenders. Please remember, this is because of the two cases that happened, the Vijay Mallya case and the Nirav Modi case, because after committing the particular fraud or the financial crime, both of them escaped to a different country, because of which the government passed a law saying that these kind of people who have committed such kind of crimes cannot be let go out of the country where the ambit is not there to arrest them. So please remember, these two people had disappeared, one to the UK and to the US, and they have not been reportedly sent back to India because we have lack of a proper extradition treaty with both these countries. What does an extradition treaty do? It lets you bring back criminals or any sort of wanted people from one country to the other, but it has to be signed on a separate basis, right? Having said that, and please remember that fugitive economic offenders is still a bill, and the cabinet has only approved the proposal of the Ministry of Finance. It has yet to be passed, right? I think recently it was passed also. The government has passed it in the Lok Sabha, right? Because it's a very, very important shame for the government that two economic offenders actually left the country after they were convicted. Now please remember, the Economic Offenders Bill and the particular law where people will not be allowed to escape the country is only if such offence is 100 crore or more will come under the purview of this bill. 100 crore or more, there will only people who will come under the purview of this particular bill. Are we clear, guys? Having moved on from there, the Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill, I'm hoping you have understood this. No, the penalty fine is not 100 crores. They are saying that the total value of offence involved, let's say you have taken or you have embezzled 100 crores from the banks and not paid them back, the moment you are under that purview, you will become under the ambit of Fugitive Economic Offender Bill. Mostly, please understand, these are very powerful people and they have such kind of influence in the government. The countries have nothing to gain, but there are people who will protect their interests and make sure that they are not handed over to the officials because they have financial and other favors that they can receive from them. So having said that, guys, quickly let's move on to the next slide. Please remember, National Financial Reporting Authority. National Financial Reporting Authority has been developed with the chairperson and 3 posts. Now what is happening is an independent regulator for the auditing profession, which is one of the key changes. It is brought in Company Act of 2013. Back in the days you had a Company Act of 1957, right? Now it is changed in Company Act of 2013. The National Financial Reporting Authority, because a lot of people who are doing audit and you do not have any sort of standards for this auditing, is why they started off an organization like this, an independent body which will regulate these auditors and make sure that the minimum set standards are maintained for each of the companies that they are auditing. Thank you, Melita. Yes, it is the money involved, it is not the penalty. Adrit Krishna, the difference between blacklist and grey list is just like saying the difference between being the last in the class and maybe the 10th last in the class. In both cases, you have improved from the worst to being average, and eventually you want to become in some better list. I don't know what the top of the list is, but having said, the blacklist is when you are at the top of the financial crimes. Anna, please understand that it is not like that. The foreign police cannot just randomly pick up Malia from his house and send it back to India on a flight, right? So it involves a lot of procedures when somebody is in a different country, a lot of visa regulations. You're talking about a normal person being arrested. It is not like that. A lot of important influences are there for these people, and they get connected with the government, and they do not really they don't send us people back. Yes, Shreya, we will breathe this again. National Financial Reporting Authority is independent regulator for the auditing profession. So nowadays what happens, companies have their internal and their external auditors, right? These auditors, if they are paid or if their influence, can fudge with the accounts and make sure that the company shows whatever reporting that they want to do, in which case you will not know what are the minimum set standards or what are the kind of money that is being brought in and brought out. So having said this, the government wanted to bring in some sort of a regulating authority, just like how RBI regulates the banks and also SEBI regulates the market. So please understand, the National Financial Reporting Authority has only been proposed. It is an independent regulator and it will regulate the auditing profession, and this is one of the important changes that was brought in the Companies Act 2013. So imagine 5 years ago they brought in this change, but they are able to implement only now. We will discuss all related questions to Vijay Malia on a separate chat or on a call, guys. Let's not discuss and give too much of importance. Let's quickly finish off our last 8 slides. Moving on, guys, the Rustam 2 drone. A drone is an unmanned flight. So India's premier defense research institute called DRDO has brought in the Rustam 2 drone, a medium altitude. So it's a medium altitude, long endurance. It's called a MAIL. Medium altitude, long endurance is called a MAIL aircraft, and it's also a UAV. It's an unmanned aerial aircraft, and it has been test run after successful flight in Karnataka's Chitradurga district. So please remember 2 things. Rustam 2 is a medium altitude, long endurance MAIL, unmanned aerial vehicle UAV, which has been test run successfully in the Chitradurga district. The next one, guys, is the J-20 stealth jet fighter. Stealth fighters are generally those planes which can escape the radars of the enemy's area. So they can go into different areas or different airstrips or the different air bases, not air bases for that matter, but into different territories, air territories of countries or enemy countries without being noticed by the radars. And J-20 is China's first stealth fighter, which made its maiden flight in 2011. Now it has been unveiled, right, in an air show. So this brought it just as an exhibition. They brought it up, but please remember the particular name. J-20 stealth jet fighter is China's first stealth fighter. Having said that, guys, we're quickly looking at the world's driest desert. Please remember, the world's driest desert. Don't worry, it is not inside India, right? So the world's driest desert, and there is a specialized bacteria that is there, which makes it also pointing towards the possibility of alien life. So this is not very important. The world's driest desert. That's all you have to remember, guys. So it is not in India. The world's driest desert. Can anybody guess where the world's driest desert is? Let's quickly go for the world's driest desert. Quickly give me an answer of where do you think the world's driest desert is? It is the Atacama Desert, guys. Please remember, Atacama Desert is in which continent? Not Sahara, guys. Atacama Desert is the world's driest desert. Moving on, guys, we go to the next first particular news called igloos on the moon. So the ISRO has started to work on building lunar habitat, right? They want to build igloos on the moon by sending robots and 3D printers. So they want to make igloos on the moon. Basically, the moon is very, very cold, guys. So they have tried to introduce igloos so that people can actually stay in the moon and actually study the properties of the soil and the other possibilities of life. Right? Having said that, the scientists of ISRO have already designed 5 prototypes of the lunar habitat. Lunar is anything to do with the moon, and solar is anything to do with the sun, and lunar habitat is the igloo that they are thinking of making. Alright, guys, having said that, let's move to the next news. The next news that we have. Cosmic Dawn. Cosmic Dawn. Please remember, guys, Cosmic Dawn is the moment when the universe's earliest stars emerged, right? And a graduate student called Nivedita Mahesh. Not important, guys, just to remember what a Cosmic Dawn means, right? They have discovered for the first time signals from the Cosmic Dawn, right? The only important thing to understand is Cosmic Dawn is the moment when the universe's earliest stars emerge, right? And also this helps you understand the evolution of something called as the cosmos. Cosmos is the universe and everything under it. Right, so 3D printing, guys, is a technology used where they try to, recreate. So 2D printing is when a paper happens. 3D printing is not a very hard printing as such. It is kind of a laser beam, right, that actually shows you Moving on from there, guys, let us look at the last 3 slides. It is very important for us to understand GOES, the world's most advanced weather satellite. GOES is the world's most advanced weather satellite, and this has been launched by NASA. And this is the second satellite that has been launched, right? GOES is the second satellite that has been launched, which is one of the advanced weather satellites, and this is done by the US Space Research Center called as NASA, and it is to safeguard the Western US. Western US is also important in case of wildfires, floods, calamities that normally happen. And ultimately, laser printing is still a 2D printing. Laser printing can also be used for 3D printing, please understand. But 2D printing, there's a technology form that is called as laser printing. We will discuss that after the session is done. But laser printing is not done only for 3D printing, it's also done for 2D printing. Okay, quickly saying guys, the National Conference on E-Governance is inaugurated in Hyderabad. National Conference on E-Governance inaugurated in Hyderabad, and the theme is Technology for Accelerating Development. Technology for Accelerating Development. Technology for Accelerating Development. Hyderabad and the 2-day National Conference on E-Governance. Please remember these names. We'll move on to the last slide for today guys. Chilika Lake in Odisha has emerged the single largest habitat of the Irrawaddy dolphins. Please understand, the Irrawaddy dolphins, the single largest habitat is in the Chilika Lake in Odisha. Right, 155 such animals have been spotted there. 155 such animals. Arundhati, please remember, these are satellites which are used for weather important. So it is called as GOES satellite. GOES is basically geostationary operational environmental satellite. Geostationary operational environmental satellite. Right? Please remember this guys. And these are the 1 and the 2, the different satellites. Please understand the 2 types of satellites which are geostationary satellites and I forgot the other type. I'm not able to recollect it guys. Geostationary, and the other one is let me get back on that guys. Yes, it is called as geosynchronous guys. Geosynchronous, one is fixed in the orbit and the other one rotates across the orbit. One is fixed in the orbit and the other one is rotated. Right? So please understand geostationary versus geosynchronous. Now, polar orbit is totally different. When the polar orbit means I am talking about the satellites being placed on the poles. This is different. Geosynchronous and geostationary is different. Yes, Arvind, I think the spillover of whatever is there from the different ones and we have not completed, we will put that into a particular session and finish it off. Because like I said, I'm moving out into 9 o'clock and I think a lot of students have already left. I don't want to keep you guys waiting and have very less people see it. So as of now, we will stop at this particular slide. Please ping me on my number, like I said, to get the remaining slides. So please make sure, guys, we will stop for now, right? Please remember, we will make sure the slides which are remaining will be completed. And having said that, I would like for you guys, if you like the session, to please click the like button. Please make sure that you guys collect the slides and read through it. Trust me guys, if you go through these slides, you will be able to pick up at least 40 or 50 marks. Yes, this much of current affairs is enough for February, Suvedya. So please make sure you come back for the session day after tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a session on numbers, and day after tomorrow we will come back to finishing March current affairs, and then we will do December current affairs. And yes, we will complete whatever remaining slides is there. Don't worry about it, guys. I'll take down my number for people who have not got it, guys. It is 8939751646. I hope you've been able to understand the session. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I think we'll wind up for now. Alright. I'll see you guys. Thank you so much. Good night. Tomorrow is a number session, guys. Number session. It is a number session by an XLRI graduate, Anand Acharya, who is also the city head of Bangalore. He will take an exciting session on numbers, math session. Any other doubts that we have, guys, please ping me on the WhatsApp group and we will be able to clear it. Thank you so much for your time. Cheers. Good night.